Today, I'm going to see if I can give these works a new life and see if I can get rid of them.
So last night, I posted the pictures to my social media accounts to see if my audience had any suggestions for me, and here's what they came up with. Swans with swords and armor, fairies, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. I used to be really jealous of those who were able to make thrift art. You have to actually go out and buy the original art, and I was always broke. But somehow I always received canvases and materials from my family and the community. So I decided if I wasn't going to be able to purchase amazing sceneries, I would need to teach myself how to make them, and then I could ruin them with the characters from various franchises. So, with those limitations, I think it made me a better artist than I would have been without that desire. And now I'm much more prepared to interact with other artists' work. I've actually avoided doing fan art as much as possible the past few years, not because of copyright issues as I had mentioned in the last video, but simply because as an artist who enjoys limitations, I enjoy the challenge of forcing myself to create varying qualities of concepts and characters. I like growing my own stories. Some people get upset when they've been stricken by copyright laws, but a healthier way to approach it would be to force yourself to not use other people's properties, even if it's not technically illegal. For this piece, I chose Mario Golf, submitted by John Hancock, because over the past year, my daughter has grown to love the Nintendo characters, so I started playing some of the games for her, and one we spent a lot of time on was Mario Golf for the N64. For the second painting, I selected Fast Food, also submitted by John Hancock. I promise that was not intentional. I had all of the topics written down, separated from who submitted them. So I apologize to those whose suggestions didn't get used, because this is also not the last suggestion of his I ended up using. What can I say? The guy has ideas that are just as cool as his name. I also chose the Happy Meal and fries because I've had to buy a lot of them over the past few years. Now that the outlines are finally finished, I can transfer those over to my computer and then project them onto the thrift art and then trace the outlines in pencil. But first, I need to take these out of their frames. With all of the outlines prepared, I'm finally ready to start painting. Before I start a project like this, I usually ask myself how I want to present my art style. For this series, I decided I didn't want there to be outlines and I wanted to incorporate the lighting that was present to make my additions feel like they were really there. However, this isn't really my art style. Although these subjects have definitely influenced my choice of typically using outlines and turning animals into characters. But I change my approach on artwork every time because of how my feelings are influenced at the time. I'm highly susceptible to creativity and I often find myself imitating others unconsciously. But that's sort of the journey for me, and everyone's take is different. I already know what sorts of art I should be doing to gain a following and money. The kind of style where people can say that's a DrTNeil, where the line work and color palettes or subject material need to be consistent and systematically repeated. But I choose to pursue my feelings and inspirations instead. But if that's something you're having troubles with, I would advise you to systemize what you're creating. This will make it easier for you to make creations, develop a style, and get noticed. One thing that defines not just artists, but everyone is their signature. And the signature you're seeing in this series, I've never used before. I developed one for my name in high school and continued using that as an artist for the next 16 years. Over the past couple of months, I took the time to ask myself questions about systemizing and branding and all the sorts of things modern creators are plagued with, and my signature needed to fit the artist name I had also been presenting for 16 years. I spent time redesigning it, giving nods to my old signature, and felt now was a good time to put it into effect. So if you're ever contemplating who you are or where you're at in life, don't hesitate to make those changes. After figuring it out, it feels like my journey has begun all over again, even if it is just the way I write my name. Giving thrift store art a new life feels like I'm helping clean things up, dusting them off, and saving them from thrift eternity. Now my purpose is to find someone who will love them so I can save them from collecting dust in my house. At the same time, I'm completing goals I had planned in 2023. By upcycling thrift art, you're improving the lives around you by purchasing from small businesses, getting involved in artist markets, and decorating people's homes with dope art. The artists themselves improve, and one of the cool rewards for doing projects like this is giving the world creativity to support, which is why I'm going to show you how I turn this pile of thrift store art into a profit. So here's the third and fourth paintings that we came up with for this series. I really like how they turned out, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. In the next video, we're going to tackle the next two paintings, and by the end, I'll show you how to sell them. I think I'm ready to put them online and see if I can get rid of them. And if that doesn't work, I have a few other ideas and how much you can make from doing one of these projects. Stay creative, folks.